Wednesday. It is presented by Progressive. We are set to tip. Rematch Georgia-Kentucky. First game. Kentucky won at 78-69. Now on the road gets real difficult for the Georgia Bulldogs, who have lost 3 of their last 4. And the last 2 road games by 20 and 32 points.
Ravi, Kentucky is trending in the right direction. And you look at how they defend right now. Their offensive efficiency numbers, their three-point shooting is not great, but it's on the trend in SEC games. John Calipari with a lot of pieces that you have to deal with in January, February, into March.
Nick Richards has been outstanding all season long. He's working a 2-man game with Ashton Hagans. 6 on the shot clock. Baseline jumper, it goes. And a good start for Ashton Hagans, who barks at that Georgia bench. A little bad blood. Of course, Hagans from Georgia. Originally thought about going to Georgia. Ends up here at Kentucky. Same story for the great Anthony Edwards, who thought about Kentucky, ended up staying at home and going to Georgia. And we're going to get a 3-second call.
Yeah, there will be a little extra juice tonight in the building between the triplets of Kentucky. Those 3 guards, especially zeroed in on Anthony Edwards, who is in consideration for the top 3 or 4 picks in the next draft. These Kentucky guards have a lot of pride, a lot of moxie about them. Hard to handle.
Give and go, ball out of bounds. That'll be a turnover. You take a look at the Kentucky starting 5. They're 2-1 with this lineup. 7th different lineup used this season. And there you see John Calipari. Last time you saw him, he was getting thrown out of a game. Kentucky ended up winning. But it's interesting, you know, you kind of like to reduce your rotation to 7 or 8 guys. He's currently watching some guys play the best they have all year. So you're looking at 9 productive players, and that's probably 1 or 2 too many. What a luxury to have, though. Immanuel quickly off to a fast start.
He is Kentucky's best player right now on both ends of the floor. He's every bit the defender I think that Ashton Hagans has been over the last year and a half. And offensively, this kid is clicking at all cylinders.
Severe Wheeler, the point guard.
Georgia started the game off trying to post Anthony Edwards. A challenge for Tom Crean right there is move number 5 around offensively, not let him hang and settle for 3-point shots early in this game.
Edwards misses his first. Hagans. E.J. Montgomery didn't score a lot in the last game, but played great defense, and that was noticed by John Calipari.
John Calipari entrusting his team starting tonight, Ravi, to make their own play calls. They have 3 or 4 things they can go through. They're through action, circle, Vegas. Ashton Hagans now taking responsibility for the play calls, especially in the first half, away from John Calipari's bench.
You discuss how he wants, Calipari wants his team to be more free as players, Jimmy. He said today he wants to call less things. He wants to be as much a cheerleader as he is a coach. Why? Because that means his players have taken ownership. It's their team now. At some point, he told us they become empowered, and at that time, he says he knows they've taken the next step. He feels like they've just taken that next step.
Happened in the last game, he says. I noticed we became a player-driven team. Hagans with a floater. What a start for the Wildcats, up 6-0.
Yeah, Hagans just very determined to bull rush the rim in that half-court offense. When Kentucky guards, Ravi, when they catch it going downhill, hard to guard.
If Edwards is off, where do the points come for Georgia? That's tough, and it's blocked by Richards. Kamara's 3 no good. Hammonds with a follow.
Yeah, there's your answer, Ravi. It's Rayshawn Hammonds. This is a guy that can make a 3, can get on that offensive glass. He's a hard match at that 4 position.
Tom Crean's been critical of his team, including Hammonds off of their brutal loss to Mississippi State. He said that Hammonds' effort was pitiful. Montgomery blocked from behind by Kamara. He's going to pick up his 2nd foul here early, so he's going to have to come out of the game. Been a challenge for Tom Crean. Even at the shoot-around today, it seemed like the most enthusiasm was coming from the former Marquette and Indiana head coach, not his players.
No, it really wasn't. And this is a team that's young, and they're struggling coming into Rupp Arena. Not sure of their identity right now on the offensive end, with the exception of Anthony Edwards. I love what Tom told his guys, though. If you have any chance to win in Rupp Arena, you have to go to battle when that ball's on the backboard. If you're Georgia tonight, if you don't want to rebound, you don't want to win. He sent the message. We'll see if the message was received.
They gave that last foul not to Kamara, but instead to Hammonds. A.J. Montgomery makes them both. His outstanding defensive effort, Montgomery, was in that victory in which Calipari got thrown out. And Montgomery was cited for his defense against Jimmy Witt of Arkansas.
Yeah, Jimmy Witt came in after a 30-point ball game, and E.J. Montgomery, the length, just took Jimmy Witt out of the game for Arkansas.
Cold start for Edwards. Hagans kicks to the corner quickly. He's been a three-point machine. He misses there. Montgomery with the putback, and it's 10-2 Kentucky.
It's difficult to box off a fast transition push, which Kentucky just threw at Georgia. Hard to box off transition push. It's hard to box off straight line drives.
Hammond's a pretty good three-point shooter for a guy his size. Guarded by Montgomery, and the ball deflected back to Wheeler. Wheeler can get in amongst the trees. It's what happens when he does.
Just can't finish. Hey, look at here, look at here, look at here.
Ball to Dykes, who is playing to the crowd at Rupp, spinning it on his finger. What a start for the Wildcats. Welcome back, everyone. Ball thrown out of bounds. There's Dykes way down towards center court. They're trying to spin that ball on his fingers, which was, I'd say, a C. So we're hoping with your own whiteboard we can do better than that.
Well, we're talking about Anthony Edwards offensively. His entire life, he has lived in the slots in this part of the floor, Ravi. So the challenge for Tom Crean, not only in this game but all season long, is to move him out of the slot to the corners, post him up some. This is a guy, his natural instincts. If it was a pickup game, he would play in this slot right there, the right side, and really go to work. Kentucky has to know if Anthony Edwards, number 5, when he's in that slot of the floor right there, that high extended wing 3 area, this cat's going to work now, and Kentucky has to lock in because he can really yo-yo bounce you and get downhill, but his instincts now take him to that part of the floor in Kentucky. They have to be dialed in on where he likes to score from.
Some huge games there. 37 points against Michigan State, 24 against Chaminade. He's 0 for 2 in the game so far tonight. Hagans, Richards down low, missed it. Rebound Hammonds. Hagans nearly deflected it and kept it.
We just discussed how Calipari wants this to be a player-driven team. There's no more consummate example than what just happened in their huddle. He looked directly at Ashton Hagans and said, I'm not talking. Tell me what you see. Tell them what you see and what we should run. He was also extremely, extremely proud of E.J. Montgomery and how aggressive he opened this game, guys.
Hagans gets fouled. He'll shoot a couple. It's interesting, Marty, thanks, because Montgomery is being pushed by a couple of guys now. Nate Sestina's a guy that will push Montgomery for playing time. We're starting to see Keon Brooks play a little bit better. He'll push him for playing time. And Johnny Juzang doesn't play the same position, but Calipari has shown he's not afraid to use 3 guards at a time.
Nope.
So he's always being pushed, and you hope, as a coach, that the player responds to that.
All those things you just described are, to me, the signs of a healthy ball club in the middle of January, and that's those Kentucky practices continue to be very competitive, and you cannot take a possession off in the eyes of John Calipari. Montgomery is, if anything, he could become the guy that buys into, I'll be our lockdown defender coach at that 3, 4, or 5 spot. He's got the length. I think he's got the IQ to do it.
Hagans has 6 early points. In the first meeting, he took 10 quick shots. He said his heartbeat was racing. He was trying to do a little too much in front of his fans that were in Georgia. Tonight he said, I'm going to play a little slower pace. He's off to a good start. And all of a sudden, Georgia's made a couple of buckets to pull within 5.
Yeah, that last basket, Tom Crean again, he posts up Anthony Edwards. The lob to Nick Richards, but he's posting up Anthony Edwards. It attracted so much defensive attention, they forgot about the backside of play.
14-7, one of those assists that you'll take if you're Ashton Hagans. He threw that up, and The way things are going for Nick Richards, he basically redirected it into the bucket. Next on ESPN, number 8, Duke. You'll get a chance to see the Blue Devils host Miami at Cameron Indoor. You can see it live on the ESPN app. Blue Devils beat the Hurricanes by 33 in Coral Gables January 4th. They've won 3 straight, 4 or 5 against Miami. And of course, the former Dukie Zion Williamson makes his NBA debut tomorrow night, 9:30 ESPN.
You know, last year, Zion Williamson and John Morant from Murray State, they were must-watch TV. Like, you're afraid to blink or go to the kitchen and come back, you might miss something. We don't have that kind of guy in college basketball this year. Duke right now kind of struggling with the injury to Wendell Moore on the defensive end of the floor.
Wheeler got in the paint, threw it up, missed another one. And just some Zion numbers at Duke, over 22 points again. You felt like he could score 50 every night if he wanted to. Hagen shot off the rim, and Hammond's tough rebound in traffic.
Kentucky so far owning the paint battle in this game.
Hammond's tough shot. Ooh, halfway down. And a good job by Trent Gresham, who's going to get fouled by Tyrese Maxey, so he'll go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Maxey picks up his first. But for folks who were kind of just tuning in to college basketball, while Zion was the consensus, no-brain #1 guy, there's a couple of guys that are going to be in consideration for #1. Remember, the Atlanta Hawks have it. Edwards is an Atlanta kid. Imagine him in the backcourt with Trae Young. That's pretty special. But there's a few others that are going to be considered for that #1 spot.
Well, I think it's going to boil down to 3 guys, LaMelo Ball and James Wiseman and Anthony Edwards, 1, 2, and 3 right now on the NBA ESPN mock draft. Halliburton, I just don't see those guys moving up within that top 2 or 3. The question for Anthony Edwards is, will he connect the dots on the floor that says, okay, he's a franchise-changing all-star type player over the next 3 or 4 years? What do I mean by that? Is he going to be a guy that can just go get his own but refuse to understand the game, connect the dots with his teammates, make them better, all those things, move without the ball? He's a young kid, Ravi, but the NBA scouts this week, those are the questions they have on Anthony Edwards.
Hammonds launches another 3. Last one went halfway down. This one is off. Substitutions in the game for John Calipari include that guy, Johnny Juzang. They'd love to see him start making some shots. A terrific shooter out of California. That ball blocked by Brooks, and the rebound missed by Hammonds.
Wheeler just can't finish against the length in the SEC.
Maxey got bumped, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. An interesting time of the game. Higgins is out. You got Maxey and Quickly playing guard. So Calipari doing a little more coaching with Ashton on the bench.
Georgia has become a little bit more of a left side of the floor transition game with Sahvir Wheeler because he's left pawed, but he can get to the rim. The rim decisions for this guy, talking about Sahvir Wheeler, they have to progress to the next level because time and time again, his layups are getting erased by the length in the SEC.
Nate Sestina. Another one of those grad transfers that seem to be sort of the norm for Kentucky the last couple of years. Of course, Reed Travis last year.
And Nate Sestina, Ravi, he's only used on 14% of Kentucky possessions when he's in the game. Only Khalil Whitney has a lower percentage of usage. And this is a guy that John Calipari trying to figure out how do I get him another 2 or 3 three-point attempts per game.
They're going to get Quickly holding Edwards. And a lot of folks that watch basketball would love to see Edwards do this a little more. Either drive downhill, or if you have a guy your size or shorter, post him up. His body, remember we did the Auburn game?
Yeah.
You called your buddy Gus Malzahn after the game, the coach of the football team. What did he say?
He said, man, what a body on number 5 from Georgia. And that's a guy that knows big boy bodies in the SEC. What I like about Tom Crean has done with number 5 in black so far, he's immediately posted him in this game. He's not running action and getting 2 or 3 screens to get him there. He's running to the block, spreading the offense and saying 5, go to work. It has not paid off yet for number 5. What it has paid off for is a couple of his teammates with hard cuts to the rim.
16-8 here. Harris just picked up his 2nd foul. So he aggressively went after that rebound. Edwards is 0 of 3 from the floor. Maxey to Juzang, and he will launch and knock it down. They want to see a more confident shooter, and I think you're starting to see it with 2 quickies.
Yeah, there was no hesitation by Juzang. That's the gamble of Tom Crean in this building. You can extend your defense. You can give up a 3-point look on the back end or potentially a lob to the rim with Kentucky's length.
Wheeler the kick. That three-pointer halfway down. Keon Brooks clears. Shot missed by Christian Braun.
One of the few play calls from the sideline so far from John Calipari.
Kind of makes sense with Maxey, the freshman, out there, and Hagen's about to set to check back in. Pull up Maxey. A little too strong. Sestina had it and lost it.
Nate Sestina has to sprint out of his ball screen to get one more separation step from the defense. He'll have three-point looks if he does.
Three-point shooter on the floor, too, who struggled shooting, but Tyree Crump is a three-point shot every time he has the basketball. He's got it there before he hands it off.
Well, quickly just blew up the dribble handoff opportunity between Wheeler and Anthony Edwards.
4 on the shot clock. Penetration and a foul on Nate Sestina. Christian Braun the foul. Take a look at Johnny Juzang. He missed a couple of games because of an illness, but he is stroking the J here.
No hesitancy. 2 feet on the floor, 2 eyes on the rim. Johnny Juzang says, "I'll take it."
John Calipari redefined college basketball protocol. Why shun the greatest prospects? Because their tenure in Lexington might be short. Embrace the pace. Welcome the stars. Demand excellence.
If you can't guard them, you can't be in the game.
Demand selflessness.
Get into it, bench. Clap for these guys.
Demand team first, not me first, in a society that suggests otherwise. Coach them hard. Love them harder. Turnover takes time. And at UK, time is truncated because the league beckons. Surrender to the process, for it is proven. Proven indeed. The volume of players John Calipari has sent to the NBA during his tenure here at Kentucky is staggering. 38 players have been selected in the NBA draft, 29 of which were first-round picks, 21 lottery selections, 3 of those #1 overall selections: Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, and John Wall. It's just remarkable to me, gentlemen, how he takes these young men who've been told they were the greatest player in the world since they were 12 and turns them into a team.
And some of them probably before, Marty, they were 12.
Yeah.
And to go along with those numbers, the other number that a lot of people will focus on are the amount of money in contracts that those 29 first-round picks and others have signed. You know what that number would be? You want to take a guess?
Close to $1 billion?
Close to $2 billion.
$2 billion. So it is close to $1 billion. It's $2 billion. Man.
That's billion.
With a B. There's no place to hide at Kentucky as a player. And Cal is very clear in his recruiting process what he's going to demand and what you'll get out of it. And guys that buy in progress, guys that don't won't. Isolating Hagens in the middle part of the floor to go one-on-one.
Spin move and an easy bucket for Ashton Hagens. His size, his strength is dramatic as far as where he was last year. So is his maturity. And yes, Cal, if there's any players, and he has, speaking of what Marty just did, taking these guys for 1 year, if they're staying for 2, the rise in his playing level, his maturity, his leadership, very few have matched what Hagens has done that quickly.
With the strength of Hagens, Ravi, he can bounce defenders off of him when he gets downhill between the pipes like he did on that last play. Boy, that ball is popping for Kentucky right now.
Tyree Crump, nope. Continues to struggle. Gresham thought about it. Ran right into Nick Richards, and now we'll get a call, kind of a late whistle.
Talk about Hagens' ability to just bounce defenders off of him. Tremendous leg strength, and that's where the game's won. It's a foot battle, not a hand battle or an arm battle between the pipes, and Hagens is going to win those more times than he's not. Now, interesting on that last transition play by Georgia. It was Nick Richards, I believe, challenging the three-point shot. Georgia doesn't run in transition with a lot of rhyme or reason. They get you cross-match, and if you're Kentucky tonight, Richards is going to have to guard a 1 or 2 at some point in those transition plays.
Manuel quickly misses that one. A rare 1 of 5 effort from three-point in his last game, but quickly has been, as Jimmy said, their best player. And there's a block from behind by Quickly. Prior 3 games Immanuel quickly had taken 13 threes and knocked down 10 of them. Right now, Georgia getting fairly dependent on that three-point shot and making none of them. Look out. Maxey goes up and over and count the basket. Tyrese Maxey leapfrogged Ty Fagan.
That's the 15th foul on Kentucky, and they've had back-to-back foul problems in the last 2 games. Maxey takes the head fake and gets over the top of the shoulders of Fagan. Fortunately, both players come up fine.
And the foul was called on not Maxey, but instead E.J. Montgomery, who goes to the bench. Are they settling for the three-point shot, or is it just a feel that I have the way they're playing the game, Georgia?
I think Kentucky's forcing them right now to take it, Rabbi, because Kentucky just smothering defensively on the perimeter, pressuring the basketball and containing at the same time. And Georgia's struggling to get clean looks. That length of Kentucky. I call those 3 guards the triplets because they're all the same size with long arms and climb up into you, bother the basketball. Becoming a juggernaut on the defensive end. This young Kentucky team.
Hammonds goes to the bench. That's a big deal with 9 minutes to go. His second foul. So you'll see Rodney Howard come into the game, a freshman, 24. 6'11" out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. A huge, huge body. Hasn't gotten a lot of minutes. Nick Richards, I don't know if he's player of the year conversation, but certainly his development from last year to this year, you could just tell John Calipari willing Nick Richards to the level he's at now. And to simplify it, it's like the light bulb went off.
Well, you now have to match his energy, and that's something that we have not used to describe Nick Richards so far in his career. Here's the most important thing about Nick Richards, number 4. He didn't con himself when John Calipari has been prodding him along from the backside and from the front side, trying to at times drag him along. What do I mean by that? He's been honest with his self-evaluations. Tom Crean talked about how terrific Dwayne Wade was at that, not conning himself and that self-evaluation. Nick Richards has not ran from hard. A lot of guys do. Richards has not done it, and he's now being rewarded.
He's got 4 in the game, 22-13, 8:45 to play, first half. The other thing Richards has done, I was just about to say it prior to that, and he didn't appear to leave his feet, perhaps with the body gets fouled. He has stayed out of foul trouble, and for the most part, teams are going to start trying to get him into foul trouble.
Well, you have to throw different looks at Nick Richards, and teams are starting to figure that out. This is a beautiful kid that I've loved watching, getting to know him and just kind of finding more about what makes Nick Richards tick. Just has a tremendous feel and love for his mom, and the sneakers tonight, these are custom made. Mom is a survivor. You see the coaches tonight with the sneakers for the cancer awareness, but his mom Marion is a breast cancer survivor. You see John Calipari coaching tonight all across the country for the most part, but Nick Richards is a beautiful kid, and his ability to run, Ravi, if Nick Richards outruns you for 28 minutes, you're in trouble if you're the opponent.
Kentucky playing at a rapid pace. You generally, of course, get accustomed to seeing Kentucky peaking in March. And there is a feeling, and they'll be tested against Texas Tech on Saturday. What a game that should be in Lubbock as Kentucky and Texas Tech do battle as part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. That's on ESPN and the ESPN app. Started with Kansas and Tennessee at Fog Allen. 8 o'clock, it's number 1 Baylor. They're in Gainesville. They take on Florida, and Mike White's team plays a different style. We'll see how they do against the number 1 team in the land, Baylor. But what a test. The only SEC Big 12 matchup between 2 teams that are ranked is Kentucky, Texas Tech.
Yeah, when Gonzaga's healthy, they're the best team in college basketball right now. I know Baylor has the number 1 ranking, but our game in Lubbock, Kentucky's going to be up against an intensity, a togetherness, a preparation like none they have seen this year with Chris Beard and that Texas Tech program. They are the real deal. And Kentucky is going to have to fight their way out of Lubbock with a win Saturday evening.
Toumani Camara goes to his right hand. Nice move on the baseline for the freshman Camara. Part of a great class that Tom Crean has. Edwards overshadows everybody. But Camara, a promising player, the lefty.
Georgia's best offense. This is just size you up. The guy with the ball just size you up and attack one-on-one. Tom Crean runs a lot of good motion. He gets that ball side to side, but at the end of the possession, they have the ability to just go at you, and you better lock in.
All right, Fagan stepped in to that one and knocks down a 3. And they're hanging around Georgia, down by just 4.
Yeah, they're hanging around, and Georgia has gotten practically nothing out of Anthony Edwards in this game. Georgia now with a 2-3 zone. They will follow through certain actions by Kentucky. That's settling right there early.
They're going to get Fagan as he fouled Nick Richards. Maybe Coach Cal will have to do a little coaching tonight with 7:23 to go and a 4-point lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Toss. The team came back and won fairly convincingly, so maybe that's why he realizes they can do this without me, because I wasn't there and the team played a lot better.
He got tossed with 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the game. I texted John Calipari with about 3 minutes ago and said, Coach, your team looks really well coached over the last 5 minutes. And he responded with a LOL, and I bet you're right. He said, but it's not over. And I said, you better make your free throws. And then he went crickets at that point.
Right.
I put the concern right back on him.
Nice of you to do that. He was already in such a rosy mood.
Such a lonely feeling in a locker room all by yourself, you know. Start going through players' bags and see who's got the best snacks and just trying to pass the time.
Nobody texts more than Jimmy does. We'll find out the list of 50 people that he texted between our last game.
You know he's sitting in there by himself, and you just think, what's he doing in there?
Did you ever get thrown out of a game?
Yeah, once.
What'd you do? What'd you say? He can say it.
I went back to the dorm and started studying. My own head coach threw me out.
There's a steal by Higgins. We've got Sestina ahead of the floor for the flush. Ashton Higgins' length wreaking havoc. And after a 7-2 run for Georgia, Kentucky opened up an 8-point lead. Trent Gresham knocks down a 3.
It's a Georgia team that has not shot the ball well in SEC play, coming in at 27%. That last pass by Higgins was a field pass as much as a C pass. He felt Sestina and kept that ball one more bounce, and it was perfectly delivered. Watch Higgins here, Ravi, on the steal. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of crowd, a lot of bodies for him to work through. And he just feels Nate Sestina running on his right side as much as anything. And with a left paw, puts it right out in front of Sestina in stride. Beautifully done by Ashton Higgins.
My mistakes, it's Donnell Gresham, not Trent Gresham. It's Donnell Gresham who knocked down that 3. Sestina to the bench. At what point, as a coach, would you like to see that rotation get down to 7-8? Because we're seeing tonight, they've got some options, Kentucky.
Well, I think what John likes is the competitiveness for that 8th and 9th spot to move up to that 6th and 7th spot. You never want to lose that. You want to keep the pressure on your guys to stay in the rotation. But I think as you start getting closer to February into March, John Calipari has always kind of got down to his 7 guys, and you just ride them. But you know, you're always one injury away or a sprained ankle away, kind of like the Petrushev kid at Gonzaga right now. And Mark Few trying to hang on to that top 1 or 2 spot with a short list.
Like a baseball team, you can never have too much starting pitching.
There you go. And Anthony Edwards not involved in this game offensively for Georgia. Can he impact the game in other areas? Right now on the road, only down 3.
He's 0 for 3, and Higgins, boy, it's at least once a game. Catch the ball in the corner, foot gets extended, and because that 3-point line's been pushed back, guy steps out of bounds.
Well, there's what he's done. I talked about in the open. This film, this game will be really scrutinized by NBA scouts. Talk with them before the game this week. They want to see if you're a potential #1 pick, how do you do on the road in a tough environment against a top 25 team, especially as a guard.
Great cut by Ty Fagan on a pass from Donnell Gresham.
Georgia again, right? They got the ball going downhill. Tom Crean actually lifts his offense in practice to what I call the 4-point line. He wants his guys to get it that high so you catch it coming downhill in stride.
There's a turnover. Maxey wanted Higgins to cut. Things not going Kentucky's way right now. Let's not forget the first meeting of this season between these two teams. Georgia led by a half dozen at halftime. Gresham, another good move, and John Calipari sees his team now trailing. He's going to take Maxey out of the game, bring Juzang in.
As well he should. Maxey just no resistance at all on the ball.
Part of a 9-0 run back in 30.
No matter how you choose to use them, our tires inspire confidence. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey defensively, he's going to get caught up in just a little bit of a ball screen, but not near enough. Nick Richards, Ravi, had backed off far enough and said under. Maxey just not with enough urgency, and Georgia once again turned to the corner by Donnell Gresham, and Tyrese Maxey going to sit and think about it.
Off that turnover, a near other turnover. Higgins, the alley-oop. Nick Richards took it off the backboard and threw it down with the left hand.
Nick Richards had 4 of those similar plays in the first matchup because Georgia was coming off of Nick Richards on any dribble penetration. Will they stay attached as this ball game goes on? Because that's always a threat with 4 and white. Look at this guy's energy talking about Nick Richards.
He's got 8. And a big mismatch down low with Richards and Kamara. Quickly, baseline. And he resets in the corner for a 3.
That quickly three-pointer is exactly what John Calipari wanted to see. He said to his team in the huddle there during the timeout, stop settling for threes, but when you are going to shoot, make sure you're ready to catch and shoot. He doesn't feel like when they get the ball, they're ready to shoot it as they get a run out for Brooks.
And they're on a run, Marty. 35-29, the timeout paid off for Cal and the Cats. And Big Blue Nation is up on its feet. A 7-0 run. Fueled by Nick Richards and Ashton Higgins. And the best three-point shooter on the team, Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah, he's shooting 57% is Quickley in conference play. Juzang would have had a clean look, but he didn't get far enough in the corner to start with. And then Quickley just follows the pass and a violent cut to the corner. And Kentucky, their overall team speed at all 5 spots, hard to handle.
Him being the overall #1 pick in the draft. What do you say?
Seth, I'm not sold on it right now. I see the potential, but the NBA values consistency. And this is a guy right now in this game on a big stage has played 12 minutes, 0 for 3. Think about this. Georgia has missed 20 shots in this game. Anthony Edwards, no offensive rebounds. #1 picks overall. They find a way to impact the game in this type of situation. This is a hard spot for Georgia right now. #5 needs to respond right this second.
He flopped there, didn't get called. There's an offensive rebound. And I think they're going to look at Anthony Edwards perhaps for that flop.
The question marks for Anthony Edwards are, again, connecting the dots. And that's learning how to play the game. More than just settling for those deep threes and those ooh and ah moments he can throw at you with those slot jump shots, yo-yoing with the ball. Fight defensively, fight on the glass, get out in transition, get on the offensive glass. Winning plays that guys like Zion Williamson and Ja Morant made last year. I need to see out of this kid.
When he's playing well, pretty typical of a teenager, there's a great joy about the way he plays. When he doesn't, that's gone. And so far tonight it's gone. He had that joy during the shoot-around earlier today. Being smiled, he can light up a building like this.
A joyful kid, a playful kid. He likes his teammates like him. All those things are there. But the parts of the game now, that word consistency, for those top couple of draft picks. It's huge in the NBA. It's huge with me. I mean, consistency in my life. Chick-fil-A,
Yep.
Lululemon boxers,
Yes.
and water. I mean, I know what I'm getting every time in those situations.
Way too much information on the Lululemon boxers.
Consistency is important.
Sorry, Marty.
Ravi talking about Edwards' smile is accurate. It's a beautiful smile. He has a great disposition, but he doesn't seem to have the most intense personality, which leads to something Tom Crean told us today at Shoot Around that I found to be fascinating. He said, we're in a play just to play society. He said, if you love to play, then you love to win. And if you love to win, then you love to work. Rarer still, he told us, are those who hate to lose more than they love to win. And then he said, right now, we don't have any of those.
Quickly's going to try to plead his case that he was shooting. He wasn't, but he's trying. And that's a very good point. And how do you distinguish when you have the players on the floor and they'll profess, oh, I hate to lose. I hate to lose more than I like to win. How do you kind of go through that with your detector up?
You follow them around for a 24, 48-hour period and say, okay, if you tell me you hate to lose, then show me. Are you in the gym? Are you studying film? Are you taking care of your body? Are you serious with your workouts? Do I trust you in the locker room? Do you like the grind part of the game? And there's not near enough of those dudes in college ball. Those guys that truly hate to lose. They say it with their lips. They don't back it up with their actions. And I think John Calipari's got some of those guys. I think this is a very hungry team, Kentucky, in terms of they want to win. They want to win bad.
Where does Chick-fil-A fall in the hate to lose sort of?
Hate to lose. They hate to lose. You talk about consistency. Them in Waffle House, right there.
Body's a temple. Kentucky is 14 of 14 from the free throw line. Tough move by Hammonds inside. Keeps it a 4-point game.
And he kept his pivot foot stuck on that floor after a couple of ball fakes and really good shoulder movement and strength by Rayshawn Hammonds.
Quickly is one of those guys who has shown he either likes to win or hates to lose. He is always in the gym. Calipari compares Quickly to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyler Hero.
It's interesting, Georgia playing zone, but when Hagans cuts through, they're going with him. Because Hagans against the zone, Ravi, he gets on that baseline and becomes a pick-you-apart passer. And Tom Crean making really a detailed adjustment with his zone with a follow-through action on Ashton Hagans.
Good cut by Khalil Whitney, who is doing his best to impress the head coach, get some more time. Wheeler, the point guard, picks up his third foul.
What would be the consistent things in your life, or just off the top of your head?
Yeah,
things that you value.
Right. Sleep. Consistently do that.
Working out?
Working out is consistent.
How about my guy Marty today? First time to work with Marty, and you and I are in there about 8:45, about 8:50. He comes in and starts throwing weights around.
Just rolls in and goes
sweating.
all metal on us.
Marty.
I was really proud of you guys this morning. I didn't especially expect to walk into the gym looking like I just woke up, because I did, and see you two in there sweating it out like jazzercise.
Hey, Marty's my new best friend because he lives on Lake Norman in North Carolina. One of the great bass fishing lakes in the entire United States.
Marty's my new best friend because he says Jimmy.
Jimmy. That's zone again by Georgia, and they'll lift up high, and on a Hagans cut, just see if they follow him through to take away his passing ability on that baseline.
Good cut by Richards. Indeed, in a lay-in. Hagans found him.
You are playing out in front of the play with your call, and Richards played out in front of the play with a cut. Very well done by both of you.
Edwards still looks for his first points. Give Georgia credit. They've gotten 0 from Edwards, and they have stayed in this game.
Talk about Nick Richards against the zone. He does a terrific job. He's up here. He's sealing, but he's going to make this cut, Ravi, off of Ashton Hagans. One bounce of the ball, and it's a really good feel by Nick Richards to cut on time with a hard dive. And just he's playing out in front of the play The first couple years of Kentucky, he played behind the play. The ball surprised him in certain spots. Doesn't happen much now from Nick Richards.
Loose ball. Kamara comes up with it, throws it right into Hagen's hands. Draws the contact. Instead, they're going to call Hagens for creating it with his elbow. Watch Ashton Hagens. I think, Jimmy, from behind, he makes contact with Edwards with his elbow to create the contact. Right there, the elbow. He created that contact.
You know, I think it's the right call by Lee Cassell, because Edwards was going away from him, but the arm bar from behind and the push-off was absolutely the right call. Not popular in this state, but it's the right call.
Kamara way off. Hagens pulls it down again. Let's try it again. Take two. He got fouled that time. It's on Tyree Crump.
That, talking about Hagens with ball in the middle part of the floor, is becoming one of the most feared things to guard in this league. We talked about his lower body strength. He's coming at you to pound you at the rim.
Hagens looks for his 9th point of the game.
He's drawing 5.5 fouls per 40 minutes. That's a team high. Richards and Quickly are behind him at 4.5 fouls per 40 minutes. That stat right there tells you the aggressiveness he's playing with.
Free throw way off. Wednesday night, Zion makes his long-awaited NBA debut for the Pelicans. First to see Lowry and Siakam, and the Raptors host the Sixers. But then Zion time. The Pelicans take on the Spurs, 9:30 Eastern time. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. In the preseason, he was great, and we anticipate him being great come NBA season. The body is still incredibly unique. May present challenges over the course of the season. Maybe some minutes that they will watch and how often he's on the floor, but it is a unique NBA player.
How many guys, before they ever play in an NBA game, are known? That's a push-off. That is a push-off. Are known just by their first name. Before they ever play in a regular season NBA game, we all know Zion is Zion, and this kid is really frustrated. I talked about the extra juice that Kentucky plays with against guys like this, and Anthony Edwards is out of sync. He's not fighting for his position on this floor and has not had a good game. And surprisingly, Georgia only down 6 with nothing.
Stunning. It's stunning.
From Anthony Edwards.
0 for 5 in this game.
Is Cal going to screen the top of this zone? He's going to cut Hagens through. If he needs to go now with 8 to go. Going to get caught short if they don't hurry.
Hagens kicks it quickly. 3-pointer, no good. Brooks the rebound, up, and will it count? No. Waved off on the floor.
Revy, I thought Kentucky got in their action about 1 second too late, and it shows up on the back end of the play. Keon Brooks, the ball's in hand when the red light comes on. I love the play call by running quickly to the corner. Just need to be a little faster.
Coach, what stood out to you there in the first half?
We did some good things. I'm just trying to give them more and more space to go do stuff, figure out stuff themselves. But offensive rebound, our guards aren't rebounding. They had 7 offensive rebounds when I looked, so it's probably 9. And most of them were their guards. So, or our guards not cracking up. We got to get that right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Marty. 10 offensive rebounds now for the Bulldogs, who stay in it 41-35, in spite of the fact that Anthony Edwards is 0 for 5. Hagens, Richards, they've been stars. Hagens with 9, Richards with 10. They have carried them all season. Time now for Kevin Connors to carry Seth and LaFonso after a break. After a stellar halftime report, welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. The SEC on ESPN, and tonight at Rupp Arena, where Kentucky leading Georgia, but a lot closer given some of the statistics that we're seeing than perhaps you would have guessed. 41-35, Anthony Edwards, no points for Georgia. Kentucky's done it in transition, Jimmy Dykes.
Yeah, they have. Their defense has been alive, and a lot of deflections around that basketball. And then Kentucky, they're ripping and running the other way. This is 11 points for Kentucky in their transition right now. It's kind of been the separating point in this ball game. Anthony Edwards getting nothing done for Georgia, and they're only down What is it, 41-35? Maybe the most impressive thing about the half so far, these Rocket Buster boots of this young lady behind us right here. Man, those things are special. Got the national champions lined up around them. Rocket Buster boots. Consistency in the boot wear.
Nothing sneaks by the artist that is Jimmy Dykes. Yeah. Marty Smith is with us as well. So Georgia started the game 3 of 20. Then they made 6 field goals. And hard to imagine you'd be trailing Kentucky by 6 and Edwards would have a donut as far as number of points. But he's the type of player, when he makes 1, there's a good chance he makes 5. Real quick.
What I like about Anthony Edwards, you're watching him in the warm-ups. Body language good, interacting with his teammates. Plays the game at times like Zion Williamson did with a joyful spirit. And if you're Tom Crean, can you get number 5 in black going early in this second half?
Kamara had a good first half, and he's dealing with Richards, and the finger roll goes to Monty Kamara.
Georgia driving the ball now from all 5 spots. That, to me, that's their best offense this entire season.
And a turnover. And here's Edwards pushing 3-on-1. Bounce pass and a good one to Fagan. And 4 quick points out of the halftime for Georgia. Pulls him within 2.
Good touch pass by Anthony Edwards. John Calipari says, I've seen enough. That's a bull rush. Bringing the ball with a finesse pass at the end. Georgia. The dogs barking, right?
They have come into the land of the blue blood Wildcats, and right now the dogs making a statement here in the second half. Maybe a pass and an assist will help unlock the key to Anthony Edwards.
This quick run for Georgia coming out of halftime is exactly what Tom Crean wanted to see from his Bulldogs. He told them at halftime, reverse the basketball offensively all the way around the floor. Make sure to stay aggressive and continue to cut to the basket. He said defensively we have to run back and make sure we match up with the middle man in the zone and continue to crash the boards. We can win this thing.
Well, they already have one marquee win as they just parted the Red Sea for Ashton Hagans to go in for the layup. And that, of course, came against Memphis on the road. As back the other way goes Hammonds, and he misses. And a chance now for Kentucky to go on a little run. Maxi's been very quiet. Richards, good position. Gets it to go.
Again, if Nick Richards outruns your big for the 28 minutes that he's on the floor, you're going to lose the ball game. And Nick Richards that time just behind the play, caught up and got in front of the play. 3 big guys this year in college ball, Rabbi, have really gone to another level. Nick Richards, the Oturu kid at Minnesota, and Luka Garza, who is right there right now for National Player of the Year, the kid out of Iowa.
Garzilla, I think is what Seth Greenberg calls him back in the studio.
He is the real deal, Luka Garza. I mean, he and Luka Doncic.
Alley-oop, Montgomery picks up the miss, can't get it to go. Richards battles, shoots down on the rim, can't get it to go. EJ puts it back up, and he's fouled. That's a huge height advantage when you have Montgomery and Richards springing like that.
That's the energy I'm talking about with Nick Richards that is now there all the time. This dude just goes and gets it strong, 2-hand rebounds, quick on his first jump, his second jump. Nick Richards, if you're going to play your way through the Final Four this year, Ravi, you're going to have to play your way through size like Udoka Azubuike at Kansas, Petrushev at Gonzaga, Vernon Carey at Duke, Romaro Gill at Seton Hall. And Kentucky can do that. Luka Garza at Iowa. You're going to have the ability to hold up in front of the rim. Nick Richards can now do that and lock that anchor spot down for Cal.
Hammonds will stay on the floor with 3 fouls. Edwards, tough jump shot. Oh, he gets one off the window. So an assist and now a jump shot that wasn't intended to go off the glass, but does, and his first 2 of the night.
And we know that he is a heated up type guy. And he can score 9, 10, 11, 12 points faster than anyone in college basketball when he's on. Kentucky better stay in his jersey.
Hagans just pulls his way past Sophia Wheeler.
I love your description of Bull, because that's how he's playing right now. 15 straight games with 5 or more assists by Ashton Hagans. Tremendous on both ends.
Watch Ashton Hagans Hagans, after he makes this bucket, he'll do exactly what was done to Tyrese Maxey. Puts his hand down to suggest too small to guard me. And you flash back to what we saw in the first meeting when Anthony Edwards blew up Tyrese Maxey and said, look, too small. Well, karma. Maybe that's what got Edwards so far in this game, and we'll see if it has any impact on Hagans.
That extra sauce is not going to go away in this game. Hagans and Anthony Edwards, they've gone up against each other since they were in elementary school. There's just a little extra juice between Anthony Edwards and that ball and Kentucky.
Double team, they get the ball to Fagan, and he lost it. Good job passing the ball, but Fagan lost it underneath.
Yeah, Kentucky coming quick with a double team on Anthony Edwards when he had it in the middle part of the floor.
Hagans is feeling it. He's got 15.
We saw how aggressive Nick Richards has been on the boards here to start the second half and throughout this game. Coach Calipari told us today during shoot-around that Richards, Emmanuel Quickley, and Ashton Hagans are all playing the best basketball of their lives. Kentucky's coming on.
It feels that way, and yet there's something that's a bit frustrating and confounding, I'm sure, for Calipari tonight to find his team only up 8 in this game when Edwards has just 2 points. You talk about consistency. It's been an inconsistent first half in the first few minutes of the second half.
Well, and it has, and that's Cal's struggles right now is to play that entire 40 minutes at that magic level. And young club still trying to figure things out, but the play of Hagans is tremendous. And you can no longer paintball Hagans defensively. And what I mean by that, the defender on Hagans never leaves the paint. You can't paintball this guy anymore. He's confident with that 15, 16-footer. He'll make a 3 every now and then, just enough. And so you have to come out on Hagans. Now the game is in his hands. And what is that? Going downhill at the rim.
Come tournament time, a guy like Hagans is a huge asset. Brooks too strong, and it's Georgia. Tough pass, a little too late. Kamara was open for a while. Jordan Harris a little late on the delivery.
Man, take care of the ball. You know, you're in the game right now in Rupp Arena. Playing in a crowd, just circle that thing back out and go to work. Tom Crean staying in this 2-3 zone. And every now and then, though, they will follow a cutter just to try to confuse you, keep you out of your rhythm.
Quiet night for Tyrese Maxey. He's 0 for 1. He's got just 2 points.
Hagans is a passer now on the inside of that zone.
Maxey, floater, got it to go.
Those Kentucky guards, all 3 of them, Robbie, they're really good at that floater jump shot. Over traffic, over length, practice it every day against Nick Richards, E.J. Montgomery.
What a luxury, too, Calipari has. Hagans and Quickley are so good defensively that they're the 2 guys that can switch off of Edwards, who drives downhill and now has 4.
That is what I want to see. Tom Crean wants to see. NBA scouts want to see all the time out of Anthony Edwards. He started in the slot on that side of the floor. I talked about it in the drawing at the under-16 the first half. And when he gets a full head of steam coming at you, it's almost impossible to keep your body in front of him.
Hagans nearly lost it, keeps it. Too short. Richards cleans up.
An out-of-area rebound by Nick Richards, and Kentucky jogging back, celebrating with 2.
Hagans with a block. Richards with a block. Back-to-back blocks for the Wildcat.
Robbie, that's all recovery, length, and speed out of Kentucky. Because for 90 feet of that play, they were behind. But the last 4, the speed, the length, the will to win, the will to fight, Kentucky covers it up right there.
And then another. Nick Richards, next level this season for number 4.
Zion. This induction into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it's amazing. That's unfortunately become the story. The 1 vote that he didn't get when he should have been a unanimous. He and Larry Walker elected to baseball's Hall of Fame. Congratulations to them. And our former colleague Kurt Schilling gets 70% of the vote. The other numbers we're looking at now, the SEC standings, LSU on top. They have not lost a game. They're in every game. They don't have a great shooter. They compete like heck on the boards, but they haven't lost.
Well, they win all the close ones. Going back to last year, LSU has not lost on the road in SEC play from last year to this year. And you talked about they are vicious on the offensive glass.
Kentucky got to be aware of Edwards now, who at least in this half has scored twice. He's got 4. Hammonds misses. Nate Sestina in. And he's being fouled by Edwards.
Well, Edwards being more involved in the second half. This is the play that might get him going. He's in the slot. This is where he lived in high school, in AAU ball and summer ball. His natural instincts, Ravi, are to get to that part of the floor right there where he can go right or left, right down the slot to the rim. The power part of the floor for Anthony Edwards.
Sestina on the baseline, misses. Nick Richards battles for it, but he can't come up with it.
John Calipari just told his team in the huddle they're surrendering far too many drives, much like what happened in Arkansas and much like what happened in Arkansas. Don't be surprised if you see Kentucky move to a zone. That's imperative then that they communicate with one another and find the shooters, namely Donnell Gresham and Anthony Edwards.
Now they're in one now. Edwards has it and fires from the wing. Got it!
Where'd it come from? I'm telling you, that is his spot. And Tom Crean moved him around a little bit in the first half. He might have finally said, you know what? Just go back to what you do best and get us, will yourself, talent ourselves back into this ball game. What a shot.
He's got 7 now, all in the second half. Maxey. No good. Look at Richards in traffic. Came down with it, lost it. Georgia basketball.
Anthony Edwards is a middle linebacker with a basketball with that body. And he can just go right up. He's so quick, Ravi, is his catch to release. Probably about 5 or 6/10 of a second. That's outstanding for an 18-year-old kid to have that quick of a delivery.
Has the ball again with 10.
What a pass.
Great pass. Hammonds can't get it to go, but what a left-handed bounce pass for the right-handed Edwards. We'll shoot some free throws here. And earlier during the shoot-around this morning, I had a chance to sit down with Anthony Edwards.
Your enthusiasm on the court, your smile, where does that come from?
My parents, they always have smiles. They always told me no matter what's going on, have a smile on your face. I just like to make my teammates happy and impact them in every way that I can. So I try to keep a smile on my face, even though sometimes I might not be having the best day.
Yeah, I've noticed that. How do you deal with not the best days? What's the Anthony Edwards plan for when you have a rough game? How do you deal with that?
I never feel like I have a rough game. I just feel like I could have did something better than what I did that night, but I don't really dwell on it. I mean, I think about what I could have done and move on to the next game because it's a league, so we always got a game coming up, so I just worry about the next game.
And lastly, for all you've done through basketball, your career, what challenges does the college game present? How is college different from what you've done so far?
It's just double team a lot. Like, me coming off screens, they double. They try to deny me the ball. And, like, the schedule come out, like, way before we actually play the team, so they're able to scout me and do all the stuff that they need to do to be able to guard me. But that's about it. I mean, everything else is the same.
Have a great game. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Really a terrific young man. He lost his mother and his grandmother to cancer on the 5th day of the month, and that's why he wears number 5. You talked with him about his dad and his shooting style.
Yeah, he shoots the ball with such ease from NBA distance. And I asked him, I said, who taught you to shoot? He said, my dad taught me when I was probably 3 or 4. And he said he started me off on a low goal with a small ball, which is exactly how you teach young guys to shoot. So his form has always been good, even as a 3 or 4-year-old. Then you just increase the size of the ball as he gets older, and you obviously take the height up of the rim. But that kind of formula, it keeps your form good all the way through, and this kid's got it.
Tough shot from the free throw line. Anthony Edwards starting to warm up now with 9 all in the second half and a 3-point Kentucky lead.
He really wrapped that screen hard into the jump shot. You're not going to block his shot when he elevates at that 15-foot mark.
He deflected that one. They get it to quickly in the corner for three. No good. Keon Brooks playing productive minutes. Gets that to go in the window off the offensive rebound.
He is a ball gatherer, is Keon Brooks. That's off the foot of Anthony Edwards. Keon Brooks has energy, and the ball finds him often because of it. He's a ball gatherer, a loose ball guy, and that's what rebounds are at the end of the day. It's a loose ball above the rim, and he reads the ball well in flight on the release. He got his eyes on the ball, kept his feet alive. Kentucky trying to push this thing out again.
It's one of those, you watch the film, Toumani Camara realize he got out hustled on that play.
Anthony Edwards, I talked about his ability to wrap a screen. What do I mean by that? He comes off shoulder to shoulder. Sparks should fly when he come off this tight. Right here, bam, wrap it. Feet down, elevate, release, rotation, result. Anthony Edwards starting to be a player.
Can't wait for it. Tennessee and Kansas kick things off for us. And then we will be in Lubbock, Texas. It's going to be the first trip for a lot of the Kentucky folks to get to Lubbock, Texas. And both teams have knocked off an AP #1 this season. And then the Gators are going to be tested against Baylor, but vice versa. Baylor's going to be tested against Florida, who's in a slugfest tonight with LSU. Hagans and Nembhard are similar in a lot of ways in their defensive abilities and their size. They both present challenges to those guarding them.
Yeah, they do. You and I are going to see a game day shoot-around at Texas Tech like none you've ever seen. You're going to be blown away by Chris Beard and the preparation and the intensity and the toughness and the fight that those guys are going to bring into that ball game. Green now with a set play, just the old-fashioned high post, screen down, pin down.
Edwards, tough pass, a little bit behind the cutter Christian Brown. Alley-oop, no good, but the follow by Juzang, who's been in the right place now twice.
That's just an effort play by Johnny Juzang to find the backside of the play in transition off of the miss. Juzang and Keon Brooks starting to earn their stripes right now in John Calipari's eyes.
Got to be careful now for Georgia. 63-54. That three no good. And Maxey's got Brooks open again. Good defense. Edwards went up. Now 4-on-2 the other way.
That was an Ashton Hagans type steal in the open floor by Anthony Edwards.
Great interior pass. Hammonds, he found Brown behind the defense.
Mark that play down, Ravi, because had that transition basket been converted, this building would have popped. But the steal by Anthony Edwards, and things just calm right back down.
Juzang being aggressive offensively. Had that ball mocked away by a reach from Brown.
The defensive play by Anthony Edwards. The anticipation boom right there. And that, again, he's quick into his jump shots, so therefore he's quick off of his feet in defensive transition. And there's the back end of the play, which really kind of silenced Rupp Arena for a spell.
Yeah, they were all on their feet.
Yeah.
You could kind of look around Rupp, and they all sat back down. Hagans to the hole. Finger roll, no good. Richards can't get it.
How about Georgia winning the rebound battle in this game? And
Look out. Hagans picked his pocket from behind. Quickly to the hole. Gets it to go. And Ashton Hagans' defense again. Turn that into 2 for Kentucky.
Well, there's not a better transition defensive guard in college ball than Ashton Hagans. He can take away a play better than anybody else at the college level between the circles in the middle part of the floor. Ashton Hagans is a handful. You have to screen him in the half court. You got to move him. But in transition, he can do some stuff now that just off of instincts, power, and quick hands. I talked about Ashton Hagans with his assists over the last 15 ball games, getting 5 or more, impacting the game, making winning plays, and there he is again tonight.
Tremendous length as Crump launches a 3, and he's a much better shooter during practice and shoot-arounds than he has been in the games recently. Misses another one. Yeah, Kentucky will tell you, with all the depth they have and the quality players that they have, Ashton Hagans is a difference maker. He's the one guy that they cannot afford to have in foul trouble or get hurt. Kenny Manzub and the Gente. Dream Team tonight. SportsCenter after Miami Duke. Countdown to Zion's debut Wednesday night. Woj's take on the impact he'll have on the Pelicans and the league. Legler breaks down Clippers, Mavs, and Tiger will go inside his expectations for the season. SportsCenter after ACC Hoops on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tiger was asked about the majors record that he continues to pursue, Sam Snead's record, and the importance of both. He said, let's just take it one day at a time. He gets set for the Farmers Open out of the place. He's had great success in La Jolla and Torrey Pines.
Kentucky really starting to punch the paint now about any time they want to. That time is off a delayed out of bounds play. Just got in isolation with a guard. And E.J. Montgomery with a very soft release and a high release.
Edwards on the bench. Brown three, no good. And a run out. Brooks ahead of the field. Bashes it down. Outstanding pass as Brooks got behind the defense. And the first instinct from Quickly was to look up and go.
It's all 5 spots that Kentucky can outrun you if you're not dialed in. Maybe Brooks got a little bit of a leak out early, but man, the dude can really run. Richards can run. Who can't on this Kentucky team? I love how fast Quickly got his head up. One bounce, bam, and the ball was thrown out extremely well. Kentucky now on a 12-2 run just over the last just under 4 minutes, starting to put distance and separation between the Cats and the Dogs, and this should be Anthony Edwards time again if you're Tom Crean, you would think.
Well, Edwards went to the bench for a second. He'll stay on the bench. It's fascinating. We'll see Kentucky a lot in the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
And to see who ends up kind of earning the playing time and trust of Calipari, because tonight, Juzang's been really good. Keon Brooks has been really good. On a night Maxey hasn't been great. Other guys are just kind of tapping you on the shoulder and saying, remember, I'm here.
And that was a must basket and a must possession by Georgia. Tom Crean took the timeout, ran a good little ball screen, and then a side screen on the inside to get that elbow jump shot freed up.
Look at Quickly in his speed. He ran right into Kamara. Oh, he called a block. Where it looked like Kamara had just been standing still.
Kentucky's so good at their guards playing from the 4-point line and in. They don't hug the 3-point line. Kentucky doesn't, Ravi. They get outside of it and above it, so they catch the ball coming downhill. Their first step on the catch is already sending them toward the rim. Very important part of their offense.
One of the country's great free throw shooters, Immanuel Quickley. He had come into the game shooting 92%, and he missed the first.
Yeah, number 12th best free throw shooter in the nation.
One of two, lead 12.
Anthony Edwards has only been fouled 3 times in this game. He leads the SEC at about 7.5 fouls drawn per 40 minutes. Stay active and stay involved if you're 5 in black right now.
Crump draws the foul. Good aggressive take as they did their best to try to get Edwards free on the baseline. That'll be the third on Immanuel Quickley. Timeout here at Rupp. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. Speaking of slam dunks, Keon Brooks with a punch.
Ashton Hagans, and to sum this guy up, Ravi, a coach like Calipari, he can do a lot of things for his guys. The one thing he can't do is battle for his guys. Ashton Hagans is a battler from the opening tip to the closing tip. This dude wants to win, and he impacts the game in so many ways. You've seen tonight 6 out of 10 from the floor, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. He's gotten on the defensive boards, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers, and 3 steals. This is a guy that wants to win, and it's starting to spread amongst those Kentucky players. His voice over the last 8 minutes was the most important voice to Kentucky the other night at Bud Walton Arena in Arkansas when the building was at an explosive level.
Standing next to Anthony Edwards, the two both grew up in Georgia, played all sorts of games against each other when they were younger. Now he likes to win. Does he hate to lose too, Higgins?
I believe he does. So does Marty Smith.
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, Kentucky's had some issues finishing games. There's been several times this year when they've got out to double-digit leads and then surrendered them. We talked to Calipari about that today. And back to the player-driven team motto, he said, why are we doing that? That's up to you guys to figure that out. You must hold one another accountable, and just now in the huddle, he reminded them of that. Now it's time for you to finish. Execute, make sure the ball is in Ashton Hagans' hands so that he can make plays for everyone.
Well, he just did on cue, and if there was a room for improvement part of Hagans' game, it was his outside shooting, which tonight has been on point.
Yeah, because there's been no hesitation at all. He's taking good looks. Kentucky just can't get that separation where you feel like, okay, we're fine, especially with a lethal scorer. Anthony Edwards still on the floor that can get going as quick as anyone in college ball.
Look out, Hagans, an ankle breaker, couldn't convert. Keon Brooks blocked by Fagan. And here's Edwards. Good bounce pass to Hammonds. Boy, great vision from Anthony Edwards.
They call it T.
But Hammond slammed the backboard after the bucket went through. That's a heartbreaker for Crean.
Things you can't do. I mean, you don't like the call if you're Tom Crean, but it's the right call. The pass by Edwards with the left hand in traffic was unsportsmanlike. Be 2 shots for Kentucky. Right there, just plays you can't make. That's the slap right there. Right call.
That's a tough one, and it is certainly a technical foul, which will allow Kentucky to shoot free throws.
Yeah, I thought that's right. It's a Class B technical foul, so it's just one free throw. It doesn't count as a personal foul, but it counts as an unguarded point that Kentucky just got because it's the little loss of discipline right there by Rayshawn Hammonds.
Making matters worse, I believe Crean looked at Hammonds and said, did you hit the backboard? I think he might have said no.
Well, the film doesn't lie.
The film don't lie.
Film don't lie. You'll see it tomorrow. Not the film that I just saw.
8-point advantage. Hagans 17. Gets it to EJ. That's a 2, and it drops.
That's good offense. Just simply screen the top of the zone and have the shooter flood behind on the backside of play. Very well done by Kentucky.
Good game for EJ Montgomery. He's in double digits with 10. Kamara, no. Maxey goes to get it. 10-point lead, 6 to go. Kind of a dangerous time in this game for Georgia. Can't let it get too far further away than 10.
Kentucky in their circle action, baseline runner action. A lot of times it will end up with an empty corner.
Oh, he had him too.
Nice slip. That's simple play. Cal is very simple with his offense. He's running about 4 or 5 things right now. That's about it. Talked about that last possession though by Kentucky that got him a basket. Montgomery, who's throwing this thing forward. Hold it right there. There's the ball screen. Now watch. Montgomery doesn't hide. He's going to relocate right there. And just on cue, Hagans knows exactly what he's looking for. If the roll is covered up, which is Nick Richards was the roll guy, the backside of play is going to be open. Montgomery sticks the open shot.
Crump knocks down the first one. You know, you look at the record of Kentucky, 13-4, and a lot of people were concerned about the losses that they had, bad losses. Their 4 losses have been by a combined 15 points.
That's not much, is it?
That's really close to being unbeaten.
And look at their wins. The ones that still jump out. The Michigan State win, the Louisville win, who just went and won at Duke. Tells you all you need to know. Kentucky is going to be a major player in that NCAA tournament. No question in my mind.
3 of the 4 losses for Kentucky this year have been by 3 points. Alley-oop. Richards went up over Kamara, and they'll call the foul on 10.
Ravi, that's one of the 4 or 5 actions at Calipari. That stack action, he's stacking his bigs in the middle part of the floor. One will dive and one will pop. Simple action, hard to guard.
Kamara's 3rd. That's the kind of season Nick Richards is having as he rolls that one in. Next on ESPN, Duke and Miami, ACC game at Cameron Indoor, and you can see it live on the ESPN app. Blue Devils starting to play a little bit better, a little more consistent. They've won 3 straight, 4 or 5 against Miami. Over on the SEC network right now with about 6:20 to go. LSU leading Florida by 7, 66-59. They try to stay unbeaten in conference. 16 for Richards.
Just so hard to keep LSU off the offensive glass. And you mentioned Duke, top 10 offensive and defensive efficiency team right now. The only team in college ball right now that's in the top 10 in both.
Still 10, so they isolate Edwards on Hagen. Spin move, met by Montgomery, who got hit in the face, but he'll get credited with a block. Hagens. No good. Who's it off of? It'll stay with Kentucky. Boy, E.J. Montgomery playing tough.
Yeah, he came over. Montgomery comes over to win the collision because you know what's going to come. And that's a legal play by Montgomery to go straight up, and you know the collision's going to be there. He took a shot, but he threw up a very strong, tough wall for Edwards to have to play through. Very well done by Montgomery. I talked about he could be that defender that just kind of comes out of nowhere and grows as the season goes on.
And a lot of times the defense will lead to offense. He's got 10 in this game. He's looked a little more comfortable shooting that ball. Richards mismatch with Fagan on him. He gives up about 8 inches. He tried the alley-oop. Instead, it's Montgomery. Contact and a good bounce pass that Richards had go off of his hands. Tough because of how low it was, but he was open.
You know, Cal, you never like a turnover if you're a coach. But he's okay with that one because Kentucky was guilty of just trying to move that ball, man. You can live with those. Anthony Edwards in the slot is a problem. He's in the slot. Quickly gave him nothing.
Kamara banged into Richards and a turnover. And 2 Kentucky players slow to get back into the offensive side of the floor, Montgomery and Richards.
You can't read where the pass was going to go any better than Hagens just did. Plain out in front of the play as a defensive point guard.
Hagens got 4 steals tonight. Richards 3 blocks in the game. And Hagens just a blow by.
Gotcha.
Easy play against Hammonds. Shouldn't say easy. He made it look easy.
Yeah, but the hesitation is what made the play special by Hagens. Because he went, then he stopped, and then bam, goes again. That second burst by Hagens, so difficult to stay in front of. Ashton Hagens doing it on both ends, Ravi. The defensive play was tremendous. Reading the play right here, just sniffs it out. Bam, I know where the ball's going. I've got it. I'm ripping and running the other way. And right here, watch the hesitation. The hesitation and the blow by Ashton Hagens. Wow.
Stuff in the stat book tonight. Packed on this one. 19 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals in 31 minutes of action. He has been phenomenal. And the most indispensable player on this Kentucky Wildcat team.
You see Hagens talking on the floor. I will say this, great teams, Ravi, they spend way more time talking to each other on the floor than they do complaining to each other off the floor. Kentucky has grown in a lot of areas since the last time I was in Lexington about a month ago. Their voice collectively has really gone to another level. I saw it late in the Arkansas game, but great teams are so good at talking to each other on the floor and limiting the complaining they do off the floor. Kentucky is in that boat.
Well, in that Arkansas game when Calipari was thrown out, Hagens put his arm around him as he was walking off the court and said, "We have it. We got it."
And they did.
And they did. They'll try to burn a little clock, leading this one by 12 with 3:40 to go.
Kentucky will close out games as a legitimate high free throw percentage team and 3 guards that seldom turn it over. Wow, that's an anchor to go to right there. John Calipari in years past would not even consider going to Nick Richards to close out games. Now it's either option 1 or option 2.
Closing in on a double-double is Nick Richards. 8 rebounds to go with his 18 points. Keon Brooks with a tackle there.
Fellas, it bears repeating just how young Georgia's roster is. 9 freshmen, 10 newcomers. And Tom Crean told us earlier today, the resilience right now is just so low. He said they bounce back really well from bad games. They just struggle terribly to bounce back during the game. Keep playing. Don't let disappointment become debilitating. And that's something they fought all year long, and we're seeing some of that here tonight.
Yeah, it takes courage to not get discouraged in real time. And Tom Crean is not the only one dealing with that right now in college basketball.
Rare miss tonight for Hagans. That's a tough shot over the 7'5" wingspan of Nick Richards. The question moving forward for Tom Crean as he continues to try to recruit and build is you're going to lose number 5. And
right.
Obviously in this game tonight, you know, he hasn't had a huge impact, but he clearly is the best player on the floor for Georgia with his passing, with his hot streak that he had there. And now can you build on what was a recruiting class that had several top 100 players, not just one?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards made signing with Georgia cool. So that's the trickle-down effect of having a guy like Edwards on your campus for a year. So now can Tom Crean continue to bring in the type of kid, the type of guy, like I know my guys. Tom Crean lives by that. He knows exactly the kind of guys that are going to fit with him. But it's a talent war on that recruiting trail in this league.
And this league in this year is seeing the teams like Alabama and Arkansas, LSU again, Florida, Kentucky will make every game that those teams play against each other very competitive.
Yeah, the hires in this league recently, we talked with Tom 2 years ago, Eric Musselman, Buzz Williams. Those guys are
Mississippi State,
same stuff. Kermit Davis at Ole Miss.
They're going to get a goaltending on Montgomery.
It's unfortunate. It's just a bad. I think they're going to look at it. Maybe. I saw that as a spin move, and 5 and 20 for Georgia are spinners in that lane. I thought Edwards just spinning through. The elbows weren't out. They were horizontal with the floor, and I think Quickly was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly, the sophomore guard, plays saxophone, piano, drums, and he's hearing some bells right now in his head. Right there, he got clipped with that right elbow. And it ends with E.J. Montgomery going up with a goaltend right there.
Yeah, we're 21 seconds away from being able to review the goaltending call. What they are looking at is the elbow to the head that was established. And that's a basketball play. It's hard contact. It's just a basketball play. Unfortunate. Yeah, just a normal basketball play. And that's going to happen sometimes.
I mean, it happens right here in our booth. Occasionally, an elbow will fly.
Yeah, absolutely it will.
Marty muscled his way into the open. A woman came up critical of the fact that your jacket in the back hasn't been...
what is that called again? She called a placard?
Yeah, and
something in the back.
She needed it to be ripped, which I will do now for you.
I don't get it here.
This just needs to come apart. Now it's good, and you look, except for the strings that are now dangling. Where did you get this jacket?
I was told when I bought this that that's a new thing, to leave the back of the jacket zipped up with.
Oh no, you look better
like that.
You got to let it flow, right, Marty?
Watching Ravi try to be a tailor for Jimmy was maybe the most unfortunate thing I've seen thus far in 2020. Although I will say, sir, you have a future in the tailoring business.
Marty, we will top that. Don't worry. You think that's unfortunate that you saw that? Just wait for the next 7 or 8 weeks with us. Yeah, she was dead set on making sure I know.
Watch out! Now, watch out!
That was a tailor-made pass on cue, right?
Heck of a dribbling exhibition by Maxey as well.
Kentucky puts you in a bind because if you don't come off, the guard's going to finish. If you do come off to stop the penetration, they throw the lob to the backside.
Watch Maxey dribble through traffic here.
Yeah, very, very well done by Maxey. Keep his eyes up right here. You attack the rim and you're just really in a bind when you're the last line of defense. You come off of Richards, it's an automatic pop.
Quickly picks up his 5th foul. Another productive game for Immanuel Quickley. The lead with 12 points. Again, his 3-point field goal shooting. He'll have back-to-back games in which he's gone 1 for 5. But how about the numbers Nick Richards continues to put up every game now, like 20 and 8.
Well, Richards is getting right at 14, 15% on the offensive glass when he's on the floor. That's a very high rate. One of the better ones in the country for a big guy, especially in conference play. Yeah, Kentucky's got all the pieces. They got the bigs. They got the guards. The wing now position is starting to become a little bit more of a strength for him with Juzang and Keon Brooks.
What Richards does this season relative to the years prior, there's a fluidity in his game. It used to look stilted, like it didn't come smooth.
Right.
Now it's so fluid. That finger roll he made in the first half, which he got fouled, that wasn't Nick Richards last year or the year before.
Rafi, we tend to forget or not talk. He didn't start playing ball, Nick Richards, until he was 14 years old. The game is still so new to him. But man, as his learning curve just shot up like a rocket the last 5 or 6 months.
3 from Crump goes down. Crane quickly calls timeout.
Nick Richards just does so many things so well. First of all, it's his energy. It's at a whole nother level. His conditioning is terrific. He can play hard now for those 27, 28 minutes that he's on the floor. He's always going to win those plays around the rim. The dude is 7 feet tall and can run like an athlete. That right there, that finesse finish, that's some special stuff now. And he's just going to continue to catch the eyes of NBA scouts because he's so young. He can jump out and cover ball screens and take on and play low in those situations. He's a load now that you have to deal with when you look at that scouting report to play against Kentucky.
His last 6 games, I mean, he takes about 10 to 15 shots a game. Last 6 games, he's missed 5 tonight. 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, and 5. That's how many shots he's missed. He is an incredible accurate because he shoots so close to the rim, obviously. He hasn't made it 3 this year, but he did end the shoot around today by making the half-court shot.
Absolutely he did. He's right at 68% from the 2-point part of the floor. Anything above 63 or 64 for a big for a coach, they said, we'll take it.
Great play, great athleticism by Maxey. Caught it as he was flying out of bounds. Hagan quickly steps back inbounds. And that'll be the 4th foul on Anthony Edwards.
They may look at this again. I'm pretty sure they will. Absolutely they will. There's been a lot of chippiness in this game and going back to the game at Athens when Anthony Edwards popped the jersey at halftime and Kentucky came out in the second half and took control. They're going to get him. They're going to get Hagan. That is not a basketball play. There's no way in the world That's a normal basketball play to get your elbow up into the jaw of the defender. I think they have a case right now for an F1.
Let's send it back to our studio as we continue to see what's happening here, guys.
Yeah, and Ravi, over on ESPN2, the game is over, essentially. Kansas State, Kansas. Keep an eye on what happens after the block shot. Silvio De Souza, Daniel McCormick, Marcus Garrett, all involved with what appeared to be a member of the Kansas State team who is not in uniform at the time. It is a melee, and they are still sorting it out right now, Coach.
This type of behavior is absolutely unacceptable. De Souza stands over after the block. It was a clean block, but then he antagonized the whole situation. Then the Kansas State guys coming off the bench, that's just unacceptable. And what happened after that is absolutely disgusting.
Wild scene that's being sorted out right now in Lawrence between Kansas and Kansas State. Jayhawks up big, Ravi.
A terrible look for De Souza after that block to go and stand over the player. And to Seth's point, you never come off the bench. But, boy, that's a disturbing look between Kansas and Kansas State, and completely unnecessary and uncalled for.
Yeah, the disturbing. That's something that's going to have ramifications. There will be suspensions that will now factor into games on Saturday, if not beyond. That's way beyond a guy leaving the bench. Holy smokes. That's about as ugly as we've seen in college ball.
A long time.
A long time.
Edwards pushed off of Richards, and this one's getting a little chippy as well.
Official better have a tight whistle. The remaining 105 of this ball game.
They get a 5-second violation. Did the official come over and tell you what they ruled on that elbow?
They saw it as just a normal basketball play. I didn't see it like that. I don't think that's not a normal play to get your arm up and your elbow into the guy bringing the ball up, but play on.
Three from the corner. Oh, Anthony Edwards gets that to go. And lo and behold, it's a 7-point game. They gave him a 2, so it's an 8-point game. And Hagans gets fouled. They called it a 2. Edwards picks up foul number 5. Then he's out of the game.
The only guy that you probably couldn't afford to foul out just fouled out if you had any chance to pull off a miracle.
All right, so we have free throws here. Obviously, the situation in Kansas State. Let's go back to our studio and Kevin.
And Ravi, want to let you know Miami and Duke over in Cameron Indoor Stadium underway right now over on ESPN News. Keep in mind, Duke 2 straight losses on the heels of that 9-game win streak. You'll see it here on ESPN once things go final in Lexington. Miami and Duke underway right now, Ravi, over on ESPN News.
Have they settled that situation, Kevin? Kansas State, have they separated everybody?
They've separated the teams, but the officials still kind of sorting out what exactly has to happen before this one goes final.
And of course, Kansas be part of that Big 12 SEC challenge.
Tennessee goes there on Saturday. And if there's not multiple suspensions on both teams, I will be shocked. The Big 12 now, conference office has their hands full to go back and look at the tape and just pick apart what really went down. But that was a horrible, horrible situation.
Precipitated by the block and then the follow-up antagonism of the player who had the shot blocked. Will be in Lubbock. Kentucky will be at Texas Tech. That'll be a huge test. Vanderbilt devastated again this year by injuries. February 1st, a huge game against the Tigers of Auburn, who went on the road this week and got drubbed twice. Crump in traffic. Montgomery picks up the block there. And now Maxey will try to burn as much clock as they can if they can avoid the foul. Juzang in traffic.
And Rev, we talked about Hagans and Richards, rightfully so. This guy has impacted the game now. I think he's kind of found who he's going to be as a player. Get some dirty points, some body blows, some rugged plays, and defend your tail off. And Montgomery has done that tonight. He won the collision at the rim with Anthony Edwards earlier. He continues to get in there and just be a force and not afraid to take a hit across the bridge of the nose. And just the growth of Kentucky individually and collectively really starting to show itself to my eyes.
6 rebounds. He's got 10 points. Hammonds open 3. No good. Kentucky's going to improve to 14-4, 5-1 in the conference. Another good effort by Georgia, but another game in which they will come up short against Kentucky. 89 points for the Wildcats, the most they have scored in an SEC game this season. For Marty Smith and Jimmy, our entire crew, welcome back Eric Mobley, our director, Scott Matthews in the truck. We'll say so long from Rupp. Cameron Indoor next. Reese Davis, Dickie